Time to go to Africa.
Oh, please.
Danny Padilla got taken out.
There's nobody like Danny. He had the best physique for a short man I've ever seen.
I was filmed a lot, but I got taken out a lot because it was an embarrassment to the IFBB.
Right.
I was stupid. I should have sued. I would never have to work again.
So Danny's in top shape, Mr. USA, and tell him, hey, take the little guy out.
What they did was the morning of the show, I was told you're not competing. And I come to find out later that it was Butler who said, why don't you let the little guy stay out and we can have Ken Waller and Mike Katz in the back. Pumping Iron did that.
Don't you think that anybody else has a chance to beat you like Robby Robinson?
No, come on, Joe.
You got to be more powerful than anything that can happen.
I think that Robby's gonna be the great black hope.
If you let anything crack, just shoot down. When he flipped it off, everybody was like,
Time to go to Africa. South Africa, Pretoria.
oh, please.
Mr. Universe and Mr. Olympia. You were on the Team USA for the Universe. Danny Padilla was the lightweight, you were the middleweight, and then there was supposed to be a pose down between Ken Waller and Mike Katz for the heavyweight.
I was the short class. Robbie was the middle class. Mike Katz and Ken Waller were supposed to have a pose down in the room the night before, and that guy would represent the heavyweight. So I'm participating in all this stuff in Pumping Iron, photo sessions, all this crap.
Did they film you a lot of golds also with the cameras, the pumping iron?
Yeah, we were all there. I was filmed a lot, but I got taken out a lot because it was an embarrassment to the IFBB.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I was stupid. I should have sued. I would never have to work again.
George Butler said, why don't you let the little guy out and let's have the big guys, because that was suiting the story. So they wanted to do the Pumping Iron story over whoever was the best man on stage.
Basically,
So they take out Danny Padilla because there was a story with a t-shirt between Mike Katz and Ken Waller. So Danny's in top shape, Mr. USA, and tell him, hey, take the little guy out. And let's have these guys, because they suit the movie better. So he said in the magazine a few years later, he found out that George Butler was the one that took him out.
Took Danny out.
Took Danny out because the storyline wasn't good enough, even though they filmed him also in Pumping Iron. They're like, take the little guy out.
What they did was the morning of the show, I was told you're not competing. The morning of the show. I was eating breakfast, getting ready to get on a bus. And they said, well, you know, you're not going to compete. I said, what do you mean I'm not going to compete? I'm on the team.
Yeah.
And nobody would explain it to me. So I went to Oscar State. And of course, at the time, I blamed Ed Jubenville, who was the coach of our team. He was our coach.
Right.
Every team had a coach. And he never came to me. So for years, I blamed the poor guy. And I come to find out later that it was Butler who said, why don't you let the little guy stay out and we can have Ken Waller and Mike Katz in the back, you know, fighting for the position.
Yeah,
and
that
they
was
threw me out.
part of the movie. Yeah. Right.
So it was basically Pumping Iron did that.
Wow.
So when I went to Ben Weeder, I said, Ben, what's going on here? And he's like, what do you mean? You got to take it up with the management. I don't know what's going on. I said, you're the president. You got to know everything.
Right.
And he said, that's just the way it's effing is.
And here's Danny. Danny was a beast.
Amazing.
Danny was a beast. Look at this guy.
Oh, Danny was
like,
built. He was
Danny
the best.
was.
He had the best physique for a short man I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, you guys competed against each other at the Night of Champions. That was quite the battle.
Yep. But he was supposed to compete, but they wouldn't let him compete.
Yeah.
So interesting, that whole thing. Great physique, though. There was nobody like Danny.